YouTube, welcome back. Did any of you guys see this oil and gas law article today? Bet you didn't, did you? Nah, guys, very few sites at this time are finding the level of news we find right here, guys. This article is from June 6th of 2021. You can see the date right there, right below the picture. And as you see, the article has the oil and gas law right in the title, okay? These are the type of articles we're finding. This is the level of research we're doing. We even went as far back to do a very in-depth research and analysis, going very far back in history with Iraq, and from that level of research and analysis, we have figured out why Iraq hasn't changed the rate, because they've been ready to change the rate for the last 7 years, but yet they haven't. We know the exact reason they haven't. We know they've got some hurdles that they have to overcome. We know what all the hurdles are. We know when they're going to overcome them, and we know when the rate's going to change. We have all that data. It's over on Patreon. If you guys would like a much more in-depth analysis, guys, because this level of research is not going to be given away for free. Okay, this took a lot of time, and none of you guys work for free, as we're not going to work for free at that level. Okay, so again, we can help you. Again, this article's from today, guys. Oil and gas law. So I bet not one other Dinar Forum founder captured this article, but this is what we find from the level of research we do. So, and if you guys would like to follow us, you are welcome to follow us right here. On the top right corner here, there's Patreon. I'll even put a link below the video for you guys right there. You can follow us on Patreon. You can see very in-depth research that we do for you guys, okay? All right, guys, let's get started on the general news for you, okay? So in the general news, all right, so in Iraq's news, Talabani meets with Kazemi and asks him to adopt the latest agreement to solve the problems. This is in regard to the implementation of Iraq's budget. Okay, they just want everything done and happening per Iraq's constitution. They want Kurdistan to send their oil money and oil to Baghdad, and then they want Baghdad to send the financial their portion of the 21 budget to them. So that's what this is about. And they've both parties have said that they're ready to do it, and they've talked about maybe doing those steps through this week, and that's where it's at this time. They said an agreement is close to being reached, and both parties may fulfill their constitutional obligations regarding the 21 budget this week. We'll see how it plays out. The value of the Iraq dinar continues to decline. Government steps to save it and expectations of high market price. Yeah, they've had high market prices since they devalued the currency on December 20th, and you guys have seen numerous articles from the finance minister where he has said that he might keep the exchange rate reduced for the next many years to come. We'll have to see how that plays out, but that's what this article is talking about right here. It just says the market price is linked to the dollar, and there is inflation in the dollar issue, so we find that some of the traders anticipate any government step to raise the price of their materials. So as you guys see, it's that's what the government prefers that at this time, because this right now, it helps Iraq, the country and government of Iraq, it helps them pay their debt off faster by devaluing the currency. So that's another reason they did this, okay? It just benefits. Devaluing the currency really benefits the government. The Finance Committee comments on sending two important files to Baghdad. And again, this just has to do with getting the budget, okay, and getting the budget going constitutionally. Everybody being in agreement. They've already said that they are in agreement, that an agreement may be close to being reached through this week. Sending the files is a good positive step to resolve the outstanding problems between the two sides. Government made good strides in the talks with articles in Baghdad to ensure the Kurdistan regions share in the budget after a series of marathon negotiations that spanned for more than a year and a half. He continued, I am not aware of the date of the new visit of the delegation of the Kurdistan regional government to Baghdad to discuss the entitlements of the Kurdistan regional government and the financial budget for the year of 21. And the Kurdistan regional government announced today that it will send the file of the Kurdistan's regional oil expenditures and non-oil revenues to Baghdad during this week. So they're saying that they anticipate fulfilling their budget and constitutional obligations during this coming week. Dollar exchange rate exceeds 150,000 dinars in Baghdad. That is the market value of the Iraq dinar. The world's possession of gold has increased, and Iraq has not increased its reserves since September of 2020. World Council announced a rise in gold reserves. The increase in gold reserves came from 5 central banks as Thailand, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, indicating the sellers are Russia, Germany, where there is Russian gold reserves declared by 3.1 tons, and the sale of it was related to the mint. The German gold reserves decreased by 1.3 tons, which is related to the mint. He pointed out Iraq has maintained its 38th ranked globally out of 100 countries listed in the table with the largest gold reserves in the world. So right now Iraq ranks 38th, and Iraq has not bought gold since September of 2020. So they have the 38th largest supply of gold in the world as far as their rank. Talabani reveals the purpose of the delegation's visit to Baghdad, Union of Kurdistan. Talabani, the goal of the prominent delegation of the presidency of the Patriotic Union, Talabani said in a conference that the delegation's meeting with the head of the State of Law Coalition, Nouri Maliki, the relations of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan will continue with the political parties. And today we spoke with the Dawa Party about early elections, security, political situation in the region. Parties that met today with them consider them our partner, noting that this message of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan is to look forward with other Iraqi parties for a good, strong Iraq now and after all the elections as well. Talabani said that the presidency of the National Union will meet and visit with all political parties. Within days, Kurdistan Regional will send 2 files. We already covered this. Denmark decides to open its embassy in Baghdad to support Iraq financially. You guys know this is just nothing more than bilateral trade agreements to help Iraq. Here they talk about the Danish government carried out construction in the deviated areas in the ISIS war. So they're just helping Iraq, from many angles. Here they talk about reconstruction, also, bilateral trade agreements and securing their country and helping Iraq, with stability and sovereignty and its territorial integrity. Denmark will contribute 50 million kroner to the stability of the reconstruction in Iraq. So they're just helping Iraq maintain their stability and sovereignty and correct their country from the war-torn damaged areas. KRG will send non-oil income to Baghdad this week. So as you guys see, they're just working to, Kurdistan and Baghdad are working to resolve their 21 budget agreements constitutionally. So this article is from yesterday. Then let's see what other news there is. Erbil will send 2 important files to Baghdad this week. We already talked about that. After 30 years lifting international sanctions on Iraqi tankers. Ministry of Transport announced Sunday raising of the Iraqi flag over the Iraqi tankers are lifting the sanctions imposed on the Iraq in the 90s of the last century on all marine oil tankers. Minister of Transport Al-Shibli, during the press conference held ports, the long discussions took place to achieve ways compliance with the International Ship Ports Code. During the sanctions imposed on the Iraqi marine tankers were lifted during the 90s on the last century. After the approval of the International Maritime Organizations, the Iraqi flag was raised high on Iraqi tankers. He added that the 2 tankers owned by the General Company of Maritime Transport were transferred from the Jordanian registration port to the registration port in Basra, and the Iraqi flag was raised on them after the completion of docking and maintenance and the tanker's validity for commercial work, which is documented by the international binding certificates for commercial work and according to the requirements of the flag state, Iraq. So that's good. Iraq is slowly rejoining the international world from different angles. All right, we already saw this article. Iraq has a lot of gold. We saw that. They were the ranked 38 for gold reserves in the world out of 100. The 3 essentials that Iraq needs to advance electricity. We already know they always have electricity challenges every summer. Iraq sold more than 5 million barrels of oil to America last month. So as you guys see, we've now seen articles saying that the U.S. is now getting oil from both Iraq and Iran under the Biden administration. So there you guys go. There's some news for you guys. And as you guys see, Not one of these news blogs covered this oil and gas law article, guys, and you guys know the oil and gas law is post rate change. And the article came out today. Guys, we are getting these types of articles every week over on Patreon. Hey, you guys are the best. Have a great day. Take care. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great week.